Alrighty, looks like we're live. Hello, it's the LSAT StudyBuddy, and we're back for another session, as explained and has been done over the past couple days, except for yesterday, because my meeting ran over and I had stuff to do. Um, on weekdays, we'll be doing double sessions, 2 sessions a day, approximately 1.5 hours each, containing 2 sections of a test per day. Saturdays will be full days, full tests. Sundays will be review tests for what I've missed today is test 47. Test 47. Yep. And I decided for this first one, we're going to do reading comp and logic games. Then in the the one later, I guess early evening, I'll be doing both logical reasoning sections. So, with all that, the playlist we're playing today is on Spotify. It's NCS Music dash no copyright sounds. Nothing's copyrighted because I'm not allowed to do that, even though we all know that listening to that music might be a lot more fun than listening to what we have in front of us, even though the playlists that I have found are pretty solid. Um, just want to shout out my most recent video that I uploaded, how to pick out which schools to apply to. Definitely check it out. There's a lot of good information there. I break down the ABA 509. I break down how to look at employment statistics. I break down rankings, prestige. I break down the BLFC percentages. I break down LSAT GPA percentiles and all of that good stuff. I know it's a half-hour video, but trust me, that's the shortest video you'll find that has all of that information on it. Regardless, we're going to jump right in. I'm probably going to start with logic games today just because I want to really focus on reading comp. And by the time I'm done, I'm going to want to hop off. I won't want to do anything else. So I'm going to start with logic games. I'm going to do reading comp after that. We'll be back in the afternoon for logical reasoning. And that's it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, want the music higher, want the music lower, want the music off, well, if you want the music off, I don't care because I want it on. So if you want it lower, higher, you want the next song, you let me know just in the chat. While I'm taking the test, I'm taking it online. I'm taking it on LSAC Law Hub's test preparation software. So I won't be able to see the chat all the time, but I'll be back every 35 minutes or so. So if I don't get to your question when I get to your question, I'll get to it when I have time to get to it and I see it. So without further ado, I'm going to dive on to test 47. In the book, the logic games, I'm talking about this book, tests 42 to 51. In the book, test 47, logic games is section, one moment, looks to be section 4. Yeah, in the book, test 47, logic games is section 4. We're going to do it first. Reading comp is section 2. We're going to do that second. And then section 1 and 3 are logical reasoning, which we will do later. In terms of grading, test 47 does not have a 176, which generally means that one question will be, let's see if there were any removed from grading. No, which means that it'll have less give. One question wrong essentially would a question has an added effect. Let's put it that way. So if you get 7 wrong on a normal test, this test will count it as if there were 8 wrong. It'll bump you down a lower score, and so on and so forth. Yeah, with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll be playing the music. And again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, music, whatever, feel free to put it in the chat. Good luck doing whatever you're doing. All right, so that's logic games. We finished with about 7 minutes left. Reason that happened was because the first question on game, what was it? On the first game, I spent a lot of time on, or the second question on the first game, I spent a lot of time on because for some reason I got 2 different answer choices to work. In that case, I just went for the one that came first because in reality on test day, the second I find an answer that works, I'm running with it. Ended up being right. So we went again, perfect for perfect on logic games, 22 out of 22. So that's 5 in a row, 5 days in a row, perfect logic game section. And that's awesome. That just means that logic games are ready. We're going to keep working them. We're going to keep drilling them. We're going to keep seeing as many games as there are. Every day we're going to be doing a game or a set of games. But we're still solid. We're not really losing anything over there. And, I mean, that's one section into a test, and we're at a perfect score. So that feels great. With that, we do really need to work on improving reading comp and logical reasoning. That's where we're moving on. We're moving on to reading comp. Reading comprehension. I know I can read, but for some reason when I take the test, I can't. So I need to figure out what's going on there. What I'm going to try to do is I went on Reddit. I read a bunch of stuff, asked a bunch of people questions, and basically what I got was slow down, focus more, pay closer attention to the main point, the author's voice, the details, which is basically all of it. But that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to slow down. I'm not going to rush to read. I'm going to slow down, and then when I get to the questions, I'm not going to rush to answer them. I'm going to take my time until I know that I'm clicking the right button. I am going to take note of how far I get by the time the 35 minutes is up, but I'm going to slow down. I know that I sped up, and when I sped up, I got better. Maybe because I was overthinking previous questions, but I'm going to try to take what I've been doing now that I've been speeding up, and I'm going to slow it down. And hopefully that'll help me clear out the errors. And then once we clear out the errors, we can add speed again. Because reading comp is really where we're faltering. So that's the plan. We're going to move on to reading comp. Reading comp is section 4 on every online test. In terms of in the book on test 47, one sec. I'm getting to test 47. In the book, reading comp, I think was section 2 when I checked earlier. Yeah, reading comp is section 2 in the book. Reading comp is the second section we're doing. So the only difference really is when we did the logic games and when we did the logical reasoning. Logic games would have been last, logical reasoning first and third, but we're doing logic games, then reading comp, and then we'll do both logical reasoning in the afternoon. Well, it's already afternoon, but in the early evening. Not knowing whether you're overthinking or rushing is awkward. I think I'm doing both at different times, and that's the problem. I was overthinking, so I went faster, and it got better. But now I think that I'm rushing and not thinking enough, so now I got to go slower. I don't know. But it's better to try it than not try it. So we're going to go back to the slow. I think it could be that when I was going slowly, I was just getting back into the swing of things after taking time off after the November test, nearly 2 months. So maybe that's what was going on. I was just getting back into the swing of things, and it wasn't looking good. Find your speed limit. You got it. It's not necessarily a speed limit because you also need a minimum, right? Because you need to move fast enough to finish 25 to 27 questions, 24 to 27 questions in 35 minutes, finishing 4 passages. So there's a minimum, there's a maximum. You just got to find your zone, But that's it. I mean, I was going too slow. I think I was overthinking, but also at that same time, I was just getting back into reading comp. Then I went faster and got better. And then I was doing better. I was at -4 from -7, right? Or -9 at some points to -4, -5 ish, right? So now it's just a matter of maybe slowing down and lowering that -4, -5 to -2, -3. Because if I can lower it to -2, -3, I think I'm fine. I'm set to take the LSAT in February, and I'm down to crush it. At least that's what my scores are telling me. Yeah, if I fix reading comp, I'm on pace to do great. Yeah, so yeah, that's the plan. Gonna take a little break. Drink some Pure Leaf iced tea. There's no sponsorship, but this stuff is fuego. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Fuego is Spanish for fire, meaning it's really good. So yeah, just taking a little break, chill out, just grind it through. I really like how I'm doing logic games. I'm getting perfect scores, and I'm finishing the sections with near 10 minutes left. I get stuck on one question like I did before. I could have gone back, and I could have done the entire game over again if I needed to. Which is great. And they're not. This test didn't. They weren't hard games. I mean, they weren't easy games, but they weren't hard either. The fourth one was some interesting rules. Those looked cool. The third one had one rule that if you understood it and you applied it, the entire game became like butter. I flew through that game in maybe 3 or 4 minutes, the entire thing. But you really had to understand what that rule meant and apply it immediately, because if you didn't apply it, all that did was leave you with a lot less than you thought you knew originally. And then the second one, that one was cool. That's probably the most challenging game of the section. Was number 2, because of the setup and because of the weird rule at the bottom. But once you understood that weird rule and understood how it was implemented, that rule was basically what every question was about. So yeah, so that one was definitely the hardest game. Number 1 was, it had a question that for some reason I managed to create a situation in which 2 of the answer choices worked, which is not possible. At least it's not supposed to be possible. I'm just going to check to make sure that that question wasn't removed from scoring. Maybe, I think I just messed up, in a sense. I got the right answer ultimately. I picked the right one, but if it got removed from scoring, that would show me that I wasn't. No, it didn't get removed from scoring. So I definitely did something. It didn't affect my game. No, it works. It works. You can put that there. I don't know if there's a rule. Oh, no. No, it can't. No, it can't. Yeah, it can't. So I stupidly thought that it could, but it couldn't, and I picked the right answer because I'm just good like that. So yeah, I mean, we're looking good. We're 22 questions in, which means after one section, we're already at a 127. So we're just picking up points. For that 170, we just need 68 more right out of another 78 questions. So that gives us 10 drops. 10 drops. Which would be 11, but they removed 176, so it's 10. Yeah. And that's why lowering reading comp is important, because right now my reading comp is too inconsistent for me to be comfortable with that. All right, so I'm going to start again at 50 minutes, I'll say. I'm trying to give myself roughly the amount of time that I would have had at the end of that section. For some reason, it seems like I froze. My internet is not responding. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Did I cut out there? Did I cut out? Anyone? Okay, looks like I'm back. Anyway, I'm going to start again at 50 minutes into the stream. I think that covers how much time I had left at the end of that section, plus however much time I wanted for a break. So I'm just going to get started with that. So logic games are done. Logic games are done. Gotta love a perfect logic games 5 days in a row, which means Sunday we probably won't be doing any logic games, which is great. It means that we can really focus on reading comp, and primarily what I want to focus on actually on Sunday, believe it or not, is going to be logical reasoning. Excuse me, I got a review. 1 second. Okay, cool. So, sorry, I had my resume reviewed. Good thing. Looks like all of the updates I made look good, added to the resume itself, and it's good to be sent around. So that's nice. Um, yeah. So, I'm gonna get started with reading comp in test 47 in the book. Again, we're talking about this red book, test 42 to 51. That is section 2 online in the LSAC prep test, the LSAT Prep Plus. It's section 4. And that's the one I'm doing online. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll answer them when I'm done. If you need the music higher or lower, I suggest using your volume to fix that, because I'm not going to see your comment, in all honesty. And by the time I get back, I'll be leaving the stream, so you wouldn't want the music. Like, it's not going to help you. All right. But yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Study what you want to study, what you're studying. Work on whatever you're working on. I'll be here doing me. You be there doing you. And I don't really know what else to say. I'm kind of procrastinating a lot right now, mainly because it's reading comp, and I'm not a fan of reading comp. But you got to do what you got to do, you know. So that's the plan. We're gonna dive in very soon when I decide that I want to. I said I was going to at 50 minutes, but I didn't. So we'll give it another 40 seconds. Let's jump in at 52, 52 is a good number. So, yeah. I'm gonna rip the band-aid off then. I'm just not ready to rip the band-aid off yet, It's just how it goes. Also, I need a haircut. Like, look how long this is getting. For a different day, I don't support Bud Light. I got this at a brewery, so I just wear it a lot. I like hats, and I can't find my favorite hat, so I've been wearing this one as a backup. All right, anyway, reading comp inbound. Adios. I apologize. Someone was cooking.
Y'all see me flying, never drop down, smoking high and I am not down. I'm not round, no denying what I got now. Keep an eye out, keep it locked down. See me flying, never drop down, smoking high and I am not round. I'm not round, no denying what I got now. Keep an eye out, keep it locked down. Get too strong when I battle with the beast for a few one. The commander and the chief for my true love. Bullets rattling and whistle at your tooth. Never sleep, eyes open, hands clutching on my throat. It's a war zone. It's a war zone. It's a motherfucking war zone. It's a war zone. Yeah, feel the impact. Yeah, break it open, leaving nothing fucking intact. Hey, yo, you been hacked. It's safe, haunted, but I found it home, we been cracked. But ain't nothing inside. Hey, yo, we been back. The band stacking, see you flexing with the thin stack. But you know who we are. Hey, bitch, you been back. I kill them all, feel the motherfucking impact. Yo, this a war zone, homie. Say you ready and prepared. Take a minute, make them aware. Well, I be sneaking in the back. Let's let the clap, I'm laughing fair. I've been crawling through the mud with a vision so I clear to bear a shepherd to the sheep. With a fury, it's a war zone. Trash talk, trap house, nothing to forgive it. Yeah, every day's a blessing. Thank the Lord on how I'm living. See me riding with my top down. Cross round, hey, listen, I'm a yes. I don't think I'll ever stop.
Like a broken soul in a wonderland without angels. That's how I feel when the mirror shows me a stranger. Yeah. And I know they're just fragments of a world where your absence all I get to see. Take me back to the planet where you and I are so meant to be. 'Cause I'm incomplete when you ain't by my side, when you don't make a next to me. Yeah, I'm incomplete. I need you here tonight to cover up this empty sheets. 'Cause I'm incomplete. Yeah, I'm incomplete. 'Cause I'm incomplete. I need you here tonight to cover up this empty sheets. 'Cause I'm At the crack of dawn, I imagine you waiting by my doorstep. But it won't be long, 'cause I realize it's a picture in my head, in my head.
Yeah, you be my love, you be my alcohol. That's real. Know that I be good, see we won't ever fall. Yeah, so for you to check it out, it doesn't do I if it was fake, me and you was looking in the start. Yeah, real. Yeah, you be my one, you be my own. Promise that I'll never leave you alone. Said you be my lover, I'm my own man. So I'ma keep it real with you always. Said I'ma be there whenever you need me. Anything you want, I'll get it for me. If you were the woman, you said you would ride for, but I know I got the weather right and never leave me. Baby, let us fly women that don't need things. So when the sun be shining, we can take it easy. Just me and you and something right around the sea, man. Yeah, in the night, so you know how you feel, man. In the night, yeah, you know how you feel, man. Before me, when now you been there, kills me. You're right, I be looking for a give you the cool, man. Just say the word, baby, by your side, I'm out there. I was feeling empty, but now you feel me. take a drink straight from the tap. I'm hating this like couple miles slip around like the hate in the gaff. Please start talking the track, cause the vibes in the front and the way to the back. How heavy is that? Start working the bass in the track on my fist to the back, I'm taking a snap. I need a drink straight from the tap. I'm hating this like couple miles slip around like the hate in the gaff. Please start talking the track, cause the vibes in the front all the way to the back.
All right, so quick update. I have about 5 minutes left in my reading comp, and I have one full passage to go in questions. So I definitely slowed down. I'm not going to speed up. What I will do is I will take note of what time I finish and how many questions I have left, or what question I'm on when the time runs out. But I'm not going to slow down. I'm not going to speed up. I'm not going to rush it. I want to see what it looks like when I take my time and I take it slow and I focus. So, yeah, I'll be back in anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, I'd say. It shouldn't take longer than that.
It's never too late to admit when you're wrong. Turn a new leaf, see others on. The time to decide has come and gone. Just give me a chance, we can carry on. Let me in my choice, these drums like your voice. They run through my head as I remember the days. Stay in this moment.
when you're not eternally seeing the dark. The tempted aside has come along. Just give me a chance, we can carry on. I'm making my choice, it's in my voice. They back in my head as I remember the day. Stay in this moment. Take me
All right, so that's that. It took me about another 5 minutes and 23 seconds after I finished. After the time ran out to finish, I had 5 questions left. And believe it or not, the first 3 passages I did right where I needed to do. One wrong on each, which is fine. But then comes the last passage, and I botched it. I botched it pretty bad. I don't want to say how bad, but I botched it pretty bad. I got 4 wrong out of 7 questions on the last passage, and they're not even ones that I should have gotten wrong. They're bad mistakes, and they're the same type of questions that were there in the other sections when I got them right. It's stupid mistakes that I can't seem to figure out how to fix. I slowed down, it didn't work. I sped up, it worked a little better. I slowed down, it got worse. So I don't know. I need to figure out what the heck I'm supposed to do with this section. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand what's going wrong. I think it's all of these most likely to agree, and I keep picking the one that's it's like most reasonably. And I'm picking one that can be reasonably inferred. It's just not most reasonably inferred. I don't like all the clear-cut ones I'm getting right. If it asks me like what about X, what about Y, I'm doing fine. But when they ask me, most likely to agree, or most accurately, or what would these people agree with from the passage? I don't know. I think that's where I'm messing up. I don't know. I'm reading the passage and I'm getting it, but apparently I'm not getting what these people are saying, but I am getting what these people are saying, and I'm answering the question, and there are multiple answers. I don't know. I need to figure it out. I don't know what's going on, because I get them right sometimes, I get them wrong at other times. I wish there was just like a list of like everything and just difficulty of questions, and I would promise you that on reading comp it's just all over the place. I am lost, but I have some time, and worst case, I just hope that on the LSAT I take, I do well on that one and not terribly. Yeah, I mean, I should be, if I get, I want to be getting 7 or 8 wrong on the entire thing, not in one section. Reading comp is balls. It's not you. I think the test is wrong. No, it's me. It's me. I'm wrong. It is me. But it's not the test. It's just reading comp. I know how to read, okay? I know how to read. I study philosophy. I read intently and I take away things, but I don't need to know when someone says there was a prevailing theory of science. However, new biologists believe X. And then they go on to tell me what the new biologist research is. Then which one are these biologists most likely to agree with? I don't care. I'm reading the passage. I'm not reading what these biologists think. And that was a butchering, and that probably made less sense than it did in my head. Point is, I'm reading the passage. I'm reading it as if I'm trying to understand the author, And then they're asking me about the author, but they're also asking me about these fictional characters in the story. That's like saying, you're in The Great Gatsby, and what was Gatsby thinking here? This is bringing me back to high school English, where the teacher was like, well, why did the author use the color blue when mentioning the ocean? And the answer to that is very simply that the ocean is blue. It's not because he was sad. Okay? Reading comp is built for, I don't know what it's built for. LSAC, you're doing a great job if you're listening to this in any way, but it is the worst section to exist. It is the worst section to exist. You should make the test strictly logical reasoning and logic games. I would 100% be for that. So you get my support behind that change all the way, no questions asked. Apparently there was a message retracted, so I'm not even going to get into that. Point is, it's over. I'm done. I'm going to take a break. We will be back. I think the plan was to be back at 6. Let me check my schedule. No, the plan was to be back at 5. But the plan was also to start at 1:30. So let me put it like this. I'm not sure when I'll be back. I have a lot of stuff to do. Mainly updating my LinkedIn, going through some of my notes, taking more notes down on some court cases. Then starting resume modification for internships, for particular internships to make sure that I'm the most competitive I can be for specific ones. And then I might work on my cover letter. Point is, I'll be back. Okay, I'll be back. It might be tonight. It might be early evening. I'm not sure, but I will be. So anyway, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get started working on all of this. So let me pause the music. So yeah, I mean, if you're on the East Coast, have a good late afternoon. Have a good night, good morning, good regular afternoon, late night, early morning, wee hours, whatever it is, wherever you are. I hope it's good, and I will catch you all, or whoever wants to come, when I'm back later. I don't know when I'll be back later, so if you want to get notified about that, make sure to subscribe down, I think, over here. Subscribe, and then hit the notification bell that pops up like right here. And you'll be notified when I get online. Again, I posted a video about how to choose which law schools to apply to. That one is incredibly valuable, and it's only half an hour. Trust me, it is hours worth of information that I tried to rush into half an hour. And I try to teach you how to do your own research, or not like that, but I try to go over how to read certain files and which documents you should be looking for. Yeah, so like the video if you liked it. If you didn't, whatever. So I'll see you later.